Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake my booty. Shake my booty. Hi guys, this is the Apostate of Allah. Welcome back to my channel. And this here is my pet goat named Abu Bakr. Say hi, Abu Bakr. Oh, I love you. Hi, back again. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about how Muhammad needed some convincing that he was not indeed a madman. Or was he trying to convince himself? I guess it really depends on perspective, on who you actually believe Muhammad is. But anyway, that's besides the point. I'm just confused because I'm quite familiar with biblical takes and the prophets, and none of them needed convincing that they were a prophet. They knew. And none of them needed to run to their their wife, to tell them, hey, yo, big dog, you a prophet. And then bring them to somebody and tell them, hey, you're a prophet. And this person dies, and all of a sudden the revelation, the inspiration pauses, and then they want to go and unalive themselves, not once, not twice, but 3 times. So I'm just familiar. So it's like, this is very interesting. No, I'm familiar with what the Bible says, and this kind of contradicts what's going on. I am confused. What? Oh, I'm describing Muhammad and his prophethood. You don't believe me? Let's go together and go read the Hadith on how Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam became a prophet together. Sahih al-Bukhari 6982, narrated Aisha. The commencement of the divine inspiration to Allah's messenger was in the form of good, righteous, true dreams in his sleep. He never had a dream, but that it came true like bright daylight. He used to go in seclusion, the cave of Hira, where he used to worship Allah alone continuously for many days, nights. He used to take with him the journey food for that stay, and then come back to his wife Khadija to take his food likewise again for another period to stay, till suddenly the truth descended upon him while he was in the cave of Hira. The angel came to him and in it and asked him to read. The prophet replied, I do not know how to read. The prophet added, the angel caught me forcefully and pressed me so hard that I could not bear it no more. He then released me and again asked me to read, and I replied, I do not know how to read. Whereupon he caught me again and pressed me a second time till I could not bear it any more. He then released me and asked me again to read, but again I replied, I do not know how to read. Or what should I even read? Please tell me. Thereupon he caught me for the third time, and pressed me and then released me and said, read in the name of your Lord, who has created all that exists, has created men from the clot. Read, and your Lord is most generous up to which he knew not. Then Allah's messenger returned with the inspiration, his neck muscles twitching, twitch, with terror till he entered upon Khadija and said, cover me, please cover me. They covered him till his fear was over, and then he said, oh Khadija, what is wrong with me? Khadija, what is wrong with me? Sackcloth and ashes, what is wrong with me? Then he told her everything that had happened and said, I fear that something may happen to me. Khadija said, don't worry, never. But have the glad tidings. For by Allah will never disgrace you, as you keep good reactions with your kith and kin, speak the truth, help the poor and the destitute, serve your guests generously, and assist the deserving, calamity afflicted ones. Khadija then accompanied him to her cousin Wara'a, blah, 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 blah. Wara'a was the son of her paternal uncle, i.e., her father's brother, who during the pre-Islamic period became a Christian and used to write the Arabic writing and used to write of the Gospels in Arabic as much as Allah wished him to write. He was an old man, had lost his eyesight. Khadija said to him, oh, my cousin, listen to the story of your nephew. Wara'a asked, oh, my nephew, what have you seen? The Prophet described whatever he had seen. Wara'a said, this is the same Namus whom Allah sent to Moses. I wish I were young and I could live up to the time when your people will turn you out. Allah's Messenger asked, will they turn me out? Wara'a replied in the affirmative and said, never did a man come with something similar to what you have brought, but was treated with hostility. If I should remain alive till the day when you will be turned out, then I will support you strongly. But after a few days, Wara'a died, and the divine inspiration was also paused for a while, and the Prophet became so sad, as we have heard, that he intended several times to throw himself from tops of high mountains, and every time he went up to the top of a mountain in order to throw himself down, Gabriel would appear before him and say, "Oh, Muhammad, you are indeed Allah's messenger in truth." Whereupon his heart would become quiet, and would calm down, and would return home. And whenever the period of the coming of the inspiration used to become long, he would do as before. But when he used to reach the top of a mountain, Gabriel would appear before him and say to him what he had said before. I'm sorry, that was a long hadith. But it's an important hadith. It's a sahih hadith. It's a hadith no Orthodox Sunni Muslim can say is fabricated. It is common knowledge within the Islamic Sunni world. This is how Muhammad became a prophet. This is something I was taught since I was a small child, and millions of other Muslims taught. So they can't come and say this hadith is fabricated in any way, shape, or form. So what happened was literally what I went and described in my intro. Let's leave the fact that he used to always worship Allah alone, while his father and his mother were pagans. They were not Muslims. Make it make sense. That's besides the point. And all the asserting that the man, whenever he got dreams, they were always true. Where's the proof? Okay? Now, as for what does this have to do with him being a madman, I think a lot of it connects. Because when you read towards the end, when Wara'a dies, the inspiration was paused for some strange reason. Why do we need, if the Quran is from God and sent down, why does Wara'a passing away have anything to do with inspiration? Right, with all that being said, let's get to the rest of the video. I have a few ayahs to read and a tafsir. Surah 52 verse 29 says, I'm going to read from the Sahih International. So remind, O Muhammad, for you are not, by the favor of your Lord, a soothsayer or a madman. Chapter 7, verse 184. Then do they not give thought? There is in their companion, Muhammad, no madness. He is not but a clear warner. Here's another ayah where Allah is trying to convince Muhammad he's not a madman. Sahih International, you are not, O Muhammad, by the favor of your Lord, a madman. Chapter 22, verse 52. And we did not send before you any messenger or prophet except that when he spoke or recited, Satan threw into it some misunderstanding. But Allah abolished that which Satan throws in. Then Allah makes precise his verses, and Allah is knowing and wise. Here's Jalalain, tafsir for chapter 22, verse 52. You can find multiple tafsirs on this, not just Jalalain, and this is also common knowledge, just like how Muhammad became a prophet. And we did not send before you any messenger, Rasul. That this is a prophet who has been commanded to deliver a message. Or prophet, Nabi, one who has not been commanded to deliver anything. But that when he recited the scripture, Satan cast into his recitation what is not from the Quran, but which those to whom he, the prophet, had been sent would find pleasing. The prophet had during an assembly of the men of Quraysh, after reciting the following verses from Surah An-Najm, have you considered Lat and Uzza and Manat, the third one? Chapter 53, 19 to 20 added, as a result of Satan casting them into his tongue without the prophets being aware of it, the following words. Those are the high-flying cranes, and indeed their intercession is to be hoped for. And so they, the men of Quraysh, were thereby delighted. Gabriel, however, later informed him, the prophet, of this, that Satan had cast onto his tongue, and he was grieved by it, but was comforted when this following verse, that he might be reassured of God's pleasure, that God abrogates, nullifies whatever Satan had cast. Then God confirms his revelations, and God is knower of Satan's casting of that which has been mentioned. Wise in his enabling him, Satan, to do such things, for he does whatever he will. So was Muhammad a madman or he wasn't? Muhammad thought he was a madman. A lot of people around him thought he was a madman. Muhammad, who was supposed to be a prophet sent from Allah, the Creator, somehow allowed Satan to influence the things Muhammad says, like speak through him. And then Gabriel needed to come and like, yo, Satan influenced you. And then conveniently, Allah's like, oh yeah, here's a law of abrogation now. This is the man you follow. This is the man you believe spoke truth. A prophet that Allah couldn't even watch over to make sure Satan doesn't influence his words. I mean, like, I've read through the Bible. I read it multiple times, cover to cover, the Bible. Not once has any prophet in the biblical text have that problem. Not once. And all of a sudden Muhammad comes along and that problem seems like it was just, here's invented. Here's a new problem. And we wonder why there are multiple ayahs in the Quran where Muhammad's being convinced that he's not a madman. I believe Muhammad was possessed. Was every action he committed because of possession? No, he was power hungry. He was power hungry. But that right there, possession. How he became a prophet, possession. I mean, it's actually true. Joseph Smith also had an encounter with an angel of God to be a prophet too in a cave. He was possessed. Why believe one and not the other? Well, I think they're both false. Muhammad was a madman. Muhammad had a feeling he was a madman to the point where he wanted to unalive himself quite a few times. Quite a few times. This is the prophet you want to follow? This is who you want to follow. Again, show me one prophet in the Bible who needed his wife to tell him he's a prophet or bring him somewhere to tell him he's a prophet. Show me one prophet who needed convincing that he was a prophet. Show me one prophet in the biblical text after somebody passes away, all of a sudden the inspiration is done. And mind you, isn't the Quran supposed to be an eternal tablet in heaven? How does what does that have to do with that? Was he the keeper of the tablets? At the end of the day, both Christians and Muslims believe in a hell and a heaven. There's an afterlife. There's only one truth. One of us is wrong. But I can safely say that I actually looked into what I believed in. I used to be a Muslim, and the word used to be should raise some flags. Why? What is there in Islam that caused Sarah to become an apostate of Allah? What is it in Islam that caused it? That is your homework for the week. Before I post up another video, look into Islam and think about it. Ask God to like, yo, help me know the truth. I would say, I believe Jesus when he says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and nobody goes to the Father but through him. Stop following a madman and follow Jesus. Peace and grace.